What's up, everybody? Welcome back to CourseCreatorHandbook.com. I am your host Amit, and today I'm super duper excited because I have a cool little trick to show you on how to split test your Teachable or Thinkific school. So today I'm going to cover Teachable, and then I'll do the same for Thinkific, but the idea should be pretty much the same. Um, why would you want to split test anything? I say, why not? Split testing helps you figure out what works best. Now, we won't be able to split test uh, some of the buttons and stuff, but we'd be able to split test copy on your sales page, which is awesome because most people don't even scroll past your headline and your what is considered the above the fold section. So if you can figure out running experiments and maybe changing the headline or changing a word in the headline to see if that gets people to scroll farther, even if it's 1% more conversions, that's a lot. It could add up to be a lot. So today I'm going to show you how you can run experiments for free and show people two separate pages on the same URL. So first of all, I'm in my Thinkific dashboard here. I'm going to show you what you need to do is, so I won't be covering Google Analytics. I hope you know Google Analytics. If not, I'll create separate videos for it. But you need a Google Analytics account. So you need a few things. You need a Teachable account, you need a Google Analytics account, and then you need an account for Optimize. So Optimize is a product from Google that lets you make changes to your homepage or any page, landing page, homepage, and it lets you make changes so you can test different things and run experiments to see which one is working. Maybe you need to test the headline, maybe you need to change the copy, maybe you need to change the image. Whatever the case may be, you can test that for free. You don't need to use an expensive tool like Optimizely or I forget the other one, but there are other tools that let you do that, but this one lets you do it for free, which is awesome. So let's get started. So once you have signed up for Optimize, I'm going to sign in here. It's google.com/analytics/optimize. I'll put that link in the description below, and you can just go there. Now once you sign in, I'm going to sign into Optimize. So if you have your Google Analytics account, you need to connect it to Optimize. I'm not going to cover that today, but you can figure out how to do that, or I'll make another video to show you. So this is my Optimize account where I can run experiments, and we're going to create a new account here and call this my course creator handbook for Teachable, and I acknowledge all of this can be checked. I don't care. Now you have to create a container name. This is the container in which all your experiments will exist. So I'm going to, again, it says you can put in your website name here, so I'm just going to put in my Teachable website, creatorhandbook.teachable.com. Doesn't like it, so I'm just going to put www.courseCreatorHandbook.teachable.com. Create. So this will be your container, and within this container you can do up to 3 experiments for free. So first thing we need to do, and you get a little checklist here how to do things. So manage accounts and users, that one is checked. So now what we need to do is create an experiment. So we just click the create an experiment button, and we will call this the headline test. Now you can do a few things. You can do a A/B testing, which is what most people do. Then you can do a multivariate testing, test variants with 2 or more different sections. I recommend usually the A/B test because you don't want to change the entire page and test everything on the page, because then you won't know what worked. I prefer, and I would suggest that you test one thing at a time. So first you maybe test the headline. Once you get your headline nailed down, then you test the copy below the fold, and slowly start testing different elements, but don't test everything at one shot, because you again wouldn't know what worked or what didn't work. I also wouldn't bother testing things like the color of the button, because I just think that's way too granular to test if the button color helps your users to click through and increase conversions. But hey, if that's something you like, go for it. If you have that kind of time, good for you, more power to you. So this is the test, and then they're asking what is the URL of the page you'd like to test. This is called your editor page. This is where you'll make your changes in live version, so your users will be able to see A or B. So I'm going to go to my sales page here in Teachable. I'm going to preview it, and I'm just going to copy this URL before this question mark, preview equals logged out. So I am going to copy this, go back here and paste it, and I've selected A/B testing. So redirect test tests different pages. If you have maybe you're using WordPress and you have two separate URLs, but you still want that main landing page URL to be the same. Maybe you're running Facebook ads or ad traffic and you want to test two separate pages next to each other and you want more control over it, you can do the redirect test. I have not tested that yet. I've mostly tested A/B test, but that one's pretty cool to test as well. So now that you're done with this, I can see myself doing this redirect one in the future, which I'll create a video for, where I would like to test the pricing. So everything else would be the same on the page. The only thing different would be the pricing. It would be either so I have a $397 product. I'd like to test $397 versus maybe $347 or $297 and see which price point is getting more conversions. Now, in order to do that, I can't do the A/B test because I want the button embed code to lead from my WordPress page straight to my Thinkific purchase page or my Teachable purchase page, which won't happen if we do the A/B, because we cannot change what's behind the button. So we cannot change the button click links. We can change what the user sees in the front end. We can't change back end stuff. So keep that in mind. That being said, let's do the A/B test here. I'm going to click on create. Now, what we want to do now is we have the name, we have the editor page. So this is our original. Now we need to create a new variant in order to test this. So before we do that, it says right here there are some setup steps that still have to be completed. So we need to inject a code on our Teachable page in order for Optimize to be able to make those changes on your Teachable. So I'm going to click on this show steps, variants, objectives, and targeting, create URL path. So let's create a new variant, and I'm just going to call this variant 1. That's you can call this new headline. So that's your new variant, and let's click into it. You have unsaved changes, save and continue. Yep, let's save and continue. Now Optimize is going to try to launch this URL, the course creator handbook URL, and because if you don't have the snippet code installed, this won't work. It looks like I already have it installed, so let me uninstall it from my sales page and then reinstall it, because I want you to see how this would work. Let's do this. Let's go back here. I wanted to delete that code snippet, and I want to start from scratch and reinstall it just so you can see how it works. I don't know if Teachable has taken up those updates yet where I took the code out and put it back in. So it doesn't look like it has. It's still reading the code. Oops, I didn't mean to close that out. So let me show you where that code will be injected. It looks like Optimize is already taking that code that I had put on my sales page, but I want to show you where to get that code from. I'm going to go back here, and so step 2 was create an experiment. We're going to come back to that. I'm actually going to show you how to link this to your Google Analytics. So you just click link property. Now if you have already linked your Google Analytics with your Optimize, then you will see your property here. In our case, it's this one, course creator handbook, and I'm going to click on link, and then Optimize, Google Optimize will give you this code snippet, which is what we want to install on Teachable. So I would just click on get snippet, Now what they're saying is just inject this piece of code right here along with your Google Analytics code, which is this one right here. So I just copy this entire thing, copy this, and it says move your analytics tracking code as high as possible to your heading, to the header of the page. So we'll do that. I have copied this code right here. Let's go into our sales page, and I am going to add a new block. It's going to be a liquid HTML block. I'm going to click in here, paste the code, and I'm going to try to move this as high up as possible. Let's see if we can. Alright, so that's in the top of the page. I'm going to hit save. Let's see what the next step is. So once we click next here, now this is a different thing. This is a second piece of code, and what this does is, as it says here, it minimizes page flickering. So what Optimize does, based on this piece of code, it will show one version or the other, but sometimes as your page is loading, your user might see the old version before the new version is put in front of their face. And in order to minimize that flickering, or it's caching, right? It's caching your memory onto the servers, and Google is picking it up from the servers, trying to figure out what IP address this user is coming from, and based on that IP address, they are changing how the website behaves. So I'm going to copy this piece of code, go back into the sales page here, go to the top and paste this. So paste this first, the flickering code or minimizing flickering, and then the second one would be your analytics code with your this is the, I think that's Google Tag Manager. Let me just go back here to make sure I have GA require, that's the one. Okay, 6K66, let's make sure we have that. All right, looks like we are good. So next and done. Now let's go back into our experiment here, and now we can make changes on our teachable page. So I'm going to save this. Let me show you what the sales page looks like as it is right now. So I'm going to click on preview, and this is what the sales page looks like as of now without any experiments running. And what I want to do is change this, sharing my experience of online course creation, to something else, and that's going to be my experiment. So let's go ahead and create that in this. So original we don't want to mess with, the new one we're going to mess with, but before we do that, let's pick our objectives here in the configuration section. So what are my objectives? I'm going to link to Google Analytics, which I thought I already did. All website data. So my objective here is, so you can select an objective, whether you're trying to increase page views, whether you're trying to increase the session duration when someone comes to your website, how long they stay there, or whether you're trying to increase bounces, so people are not just coming and boom, bouncing off, they're actually sticking around for a while and seeing what you're talking about. So I want to decrease bounces, that's my objective. And these objectives are defined in your Google Analytics account. Again, we're not going to go into it, but there are multiple videos on YouTube by gurus who are better than me on Google Analytics on how to do all of that. I will make a video eventually on the things that I do in my analytics account, which are very limited, but I'm not going to cover that today. So now this is the description and hypothesis part. You can put in 5,000 words in here. So what is the hypothesis of your experiment? What is it that you're trying to do, is what Optimize is asking you. Trying to test the new headline and see if it performs better than the original headline, and then I'll just copy original headline equals. So I'll just copy this as my original headline, and then we'll say new headline equals sharing, learn the art of online course creation, one step at a time. Alright, So this is my hypothesis that I'm going to hit the save button right here. My hypothesis is that my headline, I want to test my headline and see which one performs better. So now how do we do that now? The original version is fine. Now what we need to do is click on the new headline version. So I'm just going to click on to here. It's going to take us to the teachable sales page, open it up for us to make changes. And we can make changes right on our teachable page using the Optimize plugin. The Optimize plugin is a Chrome extension. So to install it, you just go to Chrome extensions. So you go to the Chrome web store. This only works on Google Chrome. Go to Chrome web store, and here you can just search for Google Optimize or just Optimize, I think, if I can spell it right. Let's see. I don't know where it is. Okay, I don't know where the plugin is actually, but let me show you what it looks like. It's this little button here with the two little cubes here. I think you could download it from within your Optimize account. Let's go back and look at that. So now we are on our sales page. Now I want to make changes. What I want to do is I want to change my secondary headline, which is also called as H2. You see, if I click here, it says H1, which is heading 1. H2 is heading 2. And now what I do is I just click on edit element. I'm going to edit the text, and now I can delete this text completely and put in our new text, which was learn the art of online course creation. And that's it. You just hit the done button in the bottom right corner of your screen, and our new headline is ready for testing. So I'm just going to hit save. There are a bunch of things here. You have all these icons here that you can kind of look at. Open editor palette. This is the CSS if you want to edit the CSS of your course. Interactive mode, and then also some settings. So if I click on settings, move settings, automatically select for reorder. I don't really do this. Now I could, at this point, I could go down here and try to edit something else. Like for example, I could try to edit the FAQ section if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that because I just want to edit this section right here and test my hypothesis. So again, it's important to go into these experiments trying to, when you go and start an experiment, you need to have a clear direction of what it is that you're trying to test. Now that I'm done creating my new headline, I'm just going to hit done. And to test this, we're going to need a cell phone that is not connected to the same Wi-Fi as your computer, because the IP address is going to be the same and the test won't work. So all I need to do now is I could create another variant. So I could do 1, 2, 3. I could do a third headline. I just like to again test one thing at a time so I know what's working and then move forward and change things. So before I start the experiment, here's a targeting option. In this, what's Optimize giving you the option is, who do you want to target? Do you want to target 100% of your visitors? Yes, I do want to target everyone that shows up on this page. And how do you want to target them? Do you want to target them 50-50, which is also what I want? So I could, I'm going to leave this. If not, you can hit edit and you can change the percentages to, let's say 75 and 25. It always has to be 100%, but I'm just going to leave it at 50-50. So that's, again, those are the things you can do in the targeting. Then evaluate on page load. When does the experiment happen? I always leave it as soon as the page loads, run the experiment. If I click edit on this, our options are custom event or evaluate at page load. Custom event would be, maybe you have created a custom event in here, like someone clicks a button and that's when the experiment happens. I'm just going to leave it as page load. And then finally, the last step is the URL. So that's the URL to your sales page, which you can see right here. Oops, I zoomed into the wrong place. This is the URL. So you can see that. And you could put and conditions in here. So URL matches plus maybe we can put a behavior. So these are all your targeting options from these match somewhat your Google Analytics account. I have never really done anything with them. I just leave everything else blank. So these are more advanced targeting options. Now, Google Analytics audience, if you want to run experiments on your Google Analytics audience, you need Optimize 360, which is a paid version of Optimize, but we are not going to do that. So that's it. Now I can start the experiment, which I am about to start. First, I need to hit the save button. And now let's start the experiment. This experiment will go live on any pages where optimized snippet is installed. Make sure to preview all variants before starting to ensure users will see the intended changes. Yes, that's fine. We are going to start. So we're good to go. Now, I'm going to open incognito and paste my course website URL here. This will show you the original headline. You're not going to be able to see. Okay, actually this is showing you the variant headline right here. Learn the art of online course creation. So this is awesome. It's already taken into effect. Learn the art of online course creation. But now if I go into my, let's see, my regular sales page. So this is not in incognito. I think this is the regular one. Yes, this is the regular one. You can see the experiment is in effect, and if I go into my experiment here and refresh this page on Optimize, you will see it shows how many people are live on your different versions of those variants right now. So you can see one active visitor on the new one, 0 on the original one, because it's not picking up me here, which is fine. I just wanted to make sure it works on both places. So it might not work for you when you're testing this. You might have to test it on separate devices not connected to the same Wi-Fi to make sure whether this experiment is working or not. And you can decide how long you want this experiment to go. Usually 3 weeks to about 28 days is a good time to experiment something before you make any decisions, or maybe at least 100 to 200 visitors to your website. And I know us course creators are not getting that much traffic, so then it's only best to let it run for about 28 days to see how that test performs. So right now you can see this is my original sales page, and then this in incognito mode is my same sales page but new headline. And there you have it, guys. That's how you do the test on how to run split testing. To recap here, the few things we have done is, I'm just going to note it down just so we have it written down. So create an Optimize account, create experiment, define hypothesis, and run experiment. And how did we do that? We created our Optimize account, we linked it to our Google Analytics account. So Optimize, Google Analytics, and lastly we had our teachable account where we injected the code as a block, and that's it. You have it. It took us about 30 minutes to set this up. It might take you a little longer if you're first time using this, and good luck testing. I would love to know the results of your test, so feel free to comment below, and I will see you on the flip side. Take care and make sure you hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the other side.